guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to respond to some of the Ballinger fans' comments that I've received on my videos not ages ago, but just over the last several months, this year in fact, because I think it's really interesting current day, kind of the climate that is on social media with the Ballinger's and some of the comments that I was receiving on my videos when I was talking about them prior to everything that unfolded from June through current day. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so first things first, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge Adam McIntyre. He was so kind to me in a video that he posted about Corey DeSoto. He reacted to one of my videos, and he's done this before on his YouTube channel, but the video that he posted yesterday was just so full of compliments, so kind. I know that he spoke about me on his Twitch channel as well. I don't watch Twitch, but I know that he spoke about me so kindly on Twitch as well. And I don't want to, I'm really weird with accepting compliments. I just am. It's the way that it always has been. But I do want to take a moment and just extend a huge thank you to him for not only highlighting my channel, but also highlighting the fact that covering the Ballinger's up until June was not the popular thing to do. I collected several people who did not care for me, did not respect me in their comments or the things that they would say about me, simply because I was providing commentary about Chris, Jessica, Colleen, even Rachel, these people that are part of this family on YouTube. I was calling out the bad behaviors that they were exhibiting publicly and the possible implications that it could have for their children current day or in the future. And I was just made out to be this, person who didn't know what she was talking about, was obsessed, jealous, or bored, or just simply I didn't deserve to have an opinion. That's the common argument that I would see. I don't want to stand on my channel and ever say, I told you so, I told you I was right, I was right, I was right. I don't want it to be that way. But it is an interesting thing to witness, to see things kind of come full circle with the conversation around the Ballinger's, when there have been a few people that have been calling them out for a very long time, and now to see other people agreeing with the concerns that were there the entire time, for me, is just kind of interesting to witness. But I really appreciate Adam. I appreciate all the hard work that he puts into his content, and I left him a comment, but just to also reiterate it publicly, my respect for him is absolutely mutual, and I think that YouTube needs more good creators. And am I saying that I'm perfect? No. Am I saying that Adam is perfect? No. But I am saying that when people show you consistency and make their content with respect, even if it's a tough topic, I think that those are people who should be respected in the commentary space, because there are a lot of people who simply just exploit the exploited and try to make content funny and like it's this slapstick kind of jokes kind of stuff. And I just don't see where talking about children that are being mistreated and filling it with jokes and being obnoxious about it is going to carry the conversation. But what do I know? The video that I was looking at the comments and I found it so interesting was the one where I had covered Colleen and Corey with their stupid Sam and Labia character that they have made. And I was talking about how gross that was. So this video I posted on April 18th, and everything popped off with Colleen and the Cody rants and all that situation. It re-kicked off in early June. This video right now has 339 likes to 31 dislikes. Someone said it's the angry fan comments on this video that have aged terribly in just 2 weeks. Yeah. So this is a common argument from a lot of her fans. Someone said, how about parents actually be parents and monitor their children, what their children are watching? It's not that hard to set up parental controls and block channels that you don't want your children to watch instead of putting the blame on someone else. This is such a weak argument to literally say, well, Colleen should be able to do whatever she wants. It's the parents' fault. Let's also talk about her being very, very well aware of children coming to her live shows and still continuing to put these children in very awkward, demeaning, and disgusting positions when they would be part of her live shows. How about let's actually put some blame on Colleen for literally building up a fan base of young children who looked at her as an idol for her making gross, less than mediocre content. So here's a really good one. I've watched Colleen since becoming a mother. Miranda sings isn't my cup of tea, but I can say this much, times have changed. Colleen has grown and matured very much. She's also made public apologies for past content she's created. That takes a big person to do. Ultimately, I believe Colleen is a good person with a good heart. I'd much rather support someone who spreads love and positivity and forgiveness for everyone than someone who creates a platform to bash others for their past mistakes and critique them. You're saying she's never grown or matured, but you think gossip is mature? That's you, honey. You're online judging and gossiping. It says far more about you than it does her. Also, you should pull the mic further from your mouth, blah, blah, blah. And talking about making a sucking noise. You're a weirdo. This entire comment is so passive aggressive and it is so condescending and small-minded. It had 80 likes on it. And to try to say that commentary is bashing. This is also literally a comment that I've been seeing for 3 years doing commentary. Giving somebody critique on their very public content is veiled as bashing, hating, bullying, harassing, being a mean girl, when all of my content that I have made, have I been snarky a couple times? Absolutely. But as far as being truly mean-spirited and coming out of the gates, just cussing people out and dragging them, that is not what I'm here for. And you can look back on over 3 years of content and see that my persona and the way that I approach content has not changed very much. If anything, I've become more comfortable talking to a camera lens because that takes some time to adjust to. But to literally say that somebody is bashing when we're calling out a woman who is making severely disgusting and inappropriate content, knowing what her fan base is, that is not bashing. And it is such an old and stale damn argument that I hear all the time. And as far as this person claiming that Colleen apologized for things, she apologized because she was being widely called out. Sponsors were dropping her and people were letting her have it. She did not come with an apology to Adam because she knew that she was wrong. She did it to save face. She did it to stop her being exposed. And as far as her being, racist and all of these other things, Colleen has shown us that she will only come forward and say the word sorry once she feels like it's hurting her money. And that's with a lot of YouTubers. Here's someone else saying that it's more of a parent problem than a Colleen problem. So ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's not Colleen's job to censor her content for kids. It's the parents' job to monitor what their kids consume, period. And oh yeah, that box video, it's almost 10 years old. Times change. Colleen would likely cringe watching her old videos too. LMAO. Let's stop giving people excuses when the content is still publicly available. Colleen very recently has done inappropriate things and said inappropriate things, knowing that she still has a young fan base. This is not something that happened one or two times 10 years ago and people are talking about it because they're bored. It has everything to do with the pattern of disgusting content that she has put out publicly. Okay, here's another one. Launching an entire crusade against Miranda Sings is crazy. You need more things to fill out your day, hun. And this is what I'm saying. It's the condescending tone. Colleen Ballinger fans have no clue what I'm doing outside of sitting right here and filming this short video. You guys have no clue because guess what? I keep my personal life offline for the most part, and it is none of your damn business what I do outside of filming content. I am not a YouTuber who has brought in my entire family to, try to make this fake, happy, friendly family channel BS that we see from people like Colleen and her brother Chris. I am not here to make artificial content. I protect the people in my real life because I hold them so near and dear to my heart and I respect them beyond words. So to sit there and try to act like somebody calling out Colleen Ballinger being gross is the equivalent of somebody being bored and needing to find something better to do with their day is literally the cheapest way to try to completely ignore all of the points that I have made. Imagine somebody saying that this person was inappropriate with their underage fans. Here is the proof. Here is the evidence of all of their content being so problematic, going back years up until current day. And you tell that person that they're bored and they need to find a hobby. This is what confirms to me that it's still either very young people watching Colleen or people that are very emotionally immature that are still watching her. Someone said, so what's it like to be perfect? I love this idea because I'm making commentary that means that I'm perfect. That could not be further from the truth. In fact, I have had missteps and mistakes during my time on YouTube that I have had to confront head on numerous times. But you know what I do with those? I actually use them as learning opportunities and I will educate myself with whatever I need to. And I will come back a better version of myself and hopefully not make a repeat pattern out of a misstep that I had. But here's the problem. You give people who are grossly problematic really big platforms and you allow them to build these inappropriate parasocial connections with their fans and they go out and defend this person whenever they see somebody else talking about them. Here's someone else saying that I am the morality police. I need to spend my time focusing on my own life instead of obsessing on someone else's. Who is obsessed with who here? Responding to public content and public information that is put out on the internet has nothing to do with being obsessed. It has everything to do with calling out these big YouTubers that up until a few months ago, there were only a few of us actually calling out Colleen Ballinger and actually be willing to have the conversation because her fans are so ruthless and toxic. So a lot of people didn't want to talk about her, and that is their choice. However, those of us that were talking about her receive things like this from her toxic fan base. Okay, here's someone else. It's not your job to judge anyone. Obviously, someone judging my content, judging somebody else, so pop me kettle. Someone else said, I watched this entire video and this is embarrassing. You really wasted all your time deep diving on someone who could care less about who you are. Do you think that Colleen Ballinger really cares about who you are? If she doesn't care about who I am, and I'm making a video that at this point in time has 12,359 views, do you actually think that she gives one about you leaving a comment on my video? I don't think so. Colleen is a wonderful mom. Her kids are amazing, smart and happy, and just a joy. Miranda sings is obviously one big joke and not geared for kids. Number one, let's talk about Colleen's fans literally acting like they reside with her and like they see everything that goes on in the four walls of her home. You guys know nothing about if she is actually a wonderful mom. You know nothing about if her kids are actually amazing, if they're actually happy. So as far as somebody guessing as to what's going on in the four walls of her home versus me responding to her very public content, I think that there's more material to react to and make commentary about when it comes to what she's actually putting out. It's not her fault that younger people watch. She makes content, entertain people, and about who shows up at her shows, parents buy those tickets. So whose fault is it really? You guys have to stop putting all of the accountability and responsibility on the parents. Because as far as buying tickets, okay, fine. Parents, should know more about the Miranda Sings character before they buy tickets to go to the show. But as far as her putting out YouTube content and creating these fan group chats where she knew that people were super obsessed with her and she would talk to them about things that were NSFW, inappropriate, and going off about her divorce and literally sharing people who have bad things to say about her, and then knowing that she was hyping up her little fan base to go defend on her behalf is such a sick and just demented way to exist. I could not imagine literally having children at home and then talking to these like teenagers who were doing my dirty work for me while I made content that was inappropriate for children, even though I know my YouTube analytics and I know that kids are watching my videos and I know that my kids are going to see all of this one day. What an odd place to exist. Here's another one. You can have your own opinion about people. You don't have to share it. If you don't like her, don't watch her. What a bright idea, right? What just a genius idea. Round of applause for this person right here. To expect silence because you don't like my opinion, that's not the way the internet works. I come across public content. I make a public response to the public content, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and then we move on with our day. It is not that deep. It is not that serious to literally go around and look for these few videos because, like I said, up until recently, there were not that many videos criticizing Colleen Ballinger or her family. To go around and look for these videos just so that you can leave comments like this. If you don't like me, don't watch me. If that's your logic, and you don't like what I'm doing, then why aren't you taking your own advice and not watching my video? Here's another one. When overly sensitive people try to cancel someone who's just funny, like what is wrong with you crybabies? So tired of people calling Colleen funny. Miranda wasn't funny. Colleen's not funny. The skits and bits that she would do, nothing funny about it. If you think that her content was funny, then it has to be literally a child, right? Because any adult that would look at Miranda Sings content would not find anything funny about anything to do with Miranda. As far as the Sam and Libya characters that they made up, that's not funny either. It's just gross. It is grossly immature, and there's just no way that 99% of adults would look at that content and think, wow, this is actually really funny. Anyone who doesn't like this must just be a hater. And I also want to say that when we're talking about funny, I understand that, like I've said in many other videos, comedy is subjective. Things that I find funny, you might find really dumb. Things that you find funny, I might not like. That's just the way that it goes. But specifically when we're talking about Miranda or these other characters that she and Corey made up, it's the sexual undertones and the sexual nature of these things that they are veiling as jokes that are the problem. It's not simply, oh, well, it's not funny. it's the inappropriate nature of the content. And then we go back to the, young kids are watching her and that kind of whole thing there. So it's not simply just, well, I don't like it, I don't think it's funny. It's the language, it's the kind of roundabout way of them talking about private areas and using different objects to describe these areas. It's just so completely disgusting. I don't understand how people can literally look at that and think that it's a much more complicated conversation than just somebody not liking it. Someone said jealousy doesn't look good on you. Get a life of your own. The jealousy thing, it's just like, I'm so bored of the jealous argument, guys. Like, when you have nothing else to say, you literally fall back on jealous or obsessed every single time. I have seen this for 3 years, like I said. And that's why at this point, I don't really pay it a whole lot of attention. Give me something that Colleen Ballinger has that somebody would be jealous of. And if you want to say the money, well, yeah, sure, like money might make things a little bit easier, but I would much rather have my character intact, and I would much rather have security to know that my YouTube channel and my YouTube career is not going to implode because I was being sketchy with underage fans behind the scenes. I would much rather have that security than the money that Colleen Ballinger has made. Because now what is she going to do? She's going to try to slither her way back to YouTube to make more content. And the only people that would take her seriously now would be kids. And then we go back to the same cycle of her making grossly inappropriate content and having a young fan base. So the cycle will just continue again. I want nothing that Colleen Ballinger has. Not a thing. I would much rather have a soul than to be in that position. Someone said, lose the nose ring. You're welcome. I mean, it's just like constantly these middle school, immature, stupid things that her fans would come out of the woodwork with. Not to be mean, but you're kind of a hater to Miranda. I am a hater to Miranda because Miranda has been sexually inappropriate for years publicly, and Colleen has literally tried to put everything inappropriate and gross that she is thinking behind the character of Miranda and used it as a cop-out, and it worked for a very long time until it didn't. You're rude. She's awesome, and she's dealt with postpartum depression after having twins in the NICU. She's talented. What does her having children or having kids in the NICU have anything to do with her being sexually inappropriate with underage fans or making grossly problematic content? And if you think that her making this grossly inappropriate content is talent, then maybe this is a really young person. I am not sure. Based on her avatar, she doesn't look to be a child, but I don't know. But to literally bring up the fact that she had postpartum depression as if that excuses any of the things that she has done is absolutely insane to me. And I don't appreciate being guilted as if like, oh, how dare you make a video? This is somebody who's dealt with postpartum depression. Okay, so I shouldn't make a video because this person had an issue with postpartum depression years ago, and now she's been exposed as being a monster. So what, are you still running around saying that? Are you still running around telling people to not make content about Colleen because she had children in the NICU? Those two have nothing to do with anything. I have never once brought up her postpartum depression. I've not mentioned that her children were in the NICU. I have mentioned that her children deserve privacy and they should not be used as a way to make content or rebrand her channel. But I have not brought my criticism into talking about her having children in the NICU. So for you to use it as an excuse is absurd and gross. So I don't want this video to become a broken record because I think you guys kind of see the same excuses and the same cop-outs that the Ballinger fans will say, to defend these people that they don't even know, which again is so weird. But I wanted to share those because I do think that it's very interesting, kind of the turn that the conversation has taken. And I do hope that some of these people that left these comments, bare minimum at this point, I would hope that they would at least be willing to see the other side of the conversation. Because with everything that's been shown about Colleen, if you're still defending her and you're still refusing to acknowledge how hugely problematic she is, then I'm not really sure what to say at that point in time. But nevertheless, I will continue to cover the Ballinger's as I have, and I will link Adam's channel down below because he is obviously on the same page. And I think it's important for content creators to continue to cover the Ballinger's past the point of it being, quote, hot tea. And I hope that the conversation continues. I think all of us are patiently awaiting that interview with Swoop and Josh, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. But I figured that I could throw this in because I found it pretty interesting looking back on those comments current day. But wow, the Ballingers definitely have one of the most toxic fan groups on all of social media. So if they want to use that as kind of a bragging rights, then they might, but I find it to be rather alarming. But that's enough babbling for today. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.